Hello, everyone, and welcome to RMD, All Things Aesthetics and Wellness podcast with me, your host, Dr. Deborah Durst. So I have a couple guests with me in the studio today, and they've been with me before, but we're going to talk about fitness today. So Brooke is with me, and she works at the office. I'll let her tell a little bit about herself. And then Thomas McGuire is with us too, and he's going to say a few words about himself. So Brooke, take it away.
Yes. Hi, guys. I'm Brooke. I'm a patient coordinator and help with the marketing at Revitalize. I've been there for about 5 weeks now, and I love it. And one thing that I do love about it is that it goes in line with everything in my life. It's kind of all fluid. I am a certified personal trainer, and I have done that for about a year at F45. I've been certified for about 2 years now. And I've always loved health and wellness and helping people feel their best. So that's something that I loved about Revitalize in my first interview, talking about all the things that they offer and how to help people feel their healthiest and their happiest. And so personal training is another passion of mine. And this is my boyfriend, Thomas, and he is a strength and conditioning coach. And go ahead, introduce yourself.
Like Brooke just said, I'm a 25-year-old adult male, and I am a certified strength and conditioning specialist that helps out with UT baseball. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of my passion, and my aim is to be a strength and conditioning coach. But I love working with anybody that's just as passionate as I am. And
so Thomas and Brooke work together and are putting together fitness programs that you can do online. Mm-hmm. And they do post on Instagram a lot of their programs. And again, or videos, I should say. The programs are something different and developing them as we speak. So anyhow, I've watched a couple of their Instagram stories or posts and love, what they're doing. And so we decided that we would talk a little bit more about that on the podcast because, again, fitness is a huge part of what we do and nutrition. My specialty is wellness, and hormone optimization is part of that. I'm not a nutritionist, and I am by no means a trainer or specialized in that area. So I do like to get specialists in those areas involved in our patients like that too. And so again, as men and women age and they're going through andropause and menopause and perimenopause, lots of changes happen. And so I'm very good at looking at all those changes and comprehensively approaching them, but all from a medical standpoint. And the nutrition and fitness is not my area of specialty. So they do that. And again, as we started to talk and I watched their videos and again, have done some of the workouts, which are a good challenge for me. I wanted them to talk a little bit more about what they might recommend in somebody going through hormonal changes, because their workouts might be a little bit different, maybe not, but it does seem that we are doing the same things. Maybe we're still doing CrossFit or we're still doing yoga, and now all of a sudden we're noticing some changes, and part of that is hormone, but some things need to change from a fitness aspect too. So if we want to go into it, I probably don't need to separate it out into men and women, but if we started with women first, because they have more hormones and it seems like they definitely change and more specifically complain about those changes as they age. Maybe we start there with women. Yeah. What would you say, for me, for instance, if I'm menopausal and I'm 53 and I've done all the same things I've always done, but have started to gain weight and, I'm seeing my doctor about other stuff, fitness-wise, what would you start with?
I would say we're both firm believers in changing it up, right? So that's at any age, but especially when you're getting to the age where your hormones, everything's changing and you're like, what in the world's going on? So if you've been doing something all your life and it's been working and all of a sudden it's not working, then it's time to
change your approach.
Change a little bit. Let's see if we can trick our body. I mean, your body, no matter what you're doing, it will get used to that. Whether you're eating the horrible 1,000 calories a day, which is not good. That people say, if you want to lose weight, eat 1,000 calories a day and see what changes. Your body will change, and eventually that will plateau. You'll have to up the calories again. Always changing. But with that, I think changing it up is huge. I definitely recommend, I know a lot of people are scared of weights, especially women. They think they're going to bulk up and look manly or masculine or just get bigger. And it actually does the opposite. The more muscle you have, the more fat that burns. So when you're hitting that perimenopausal and menopausal phase where you're realizing, oh my goodness, I'm putting on more like fat than I ever have. Your fat is metabolizing different. So why not try to add a few weights in there? I know you do great with that. You go work out often and do weights and stuff. I love that you're not scared of weights and you can tell you're not in your body, that you're like toned and you have muscle, right?
That's a big change. Like, again, I think I did all the same things
Right.
until I started to hit that plateau with perimenopause and menopause. And then I realized I had to change some things.
Yeah.
And as you see those changes are positive after you add weights, then it changes.
So
So,
you're like,
yeah.
oh.
And it's not something that you have to wait until perimenopause or menopause. Like we talked about earlier,
Correct.
age 30, you start losing bone density. So if leading up to that, all through your 20s, you place load or stress on your bones, they're going to get thicker. They're going to get more dense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's preventative earlier on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as important then as it is when you're going through menopause.
Correct.
But yeah, I love that you said don't be afraid, because I think there's a
Superstition.
misunderstanding out there that like a girl's going to look at a barbell and just look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that's not going to happen.
Well, and even as we tie together to just be more simplistic as you bring up the bone, Thomas, is that, again, the reason why our bone starts to decline even at 30 is really testosterone drops early on for both men and women. And again, it circulates in both. There's no difference. It's a life force and necessary. But the bone decrease is also, because some people will know that and accept that and accept that there's some fatty changes that happen, but don't accept that that's a hormonal decline that really, because that's what keeps our bones strong. And that happens and it's in the 30s. So,
And heavy resistance training is shown to increase free testosterone levels. Along with Wolff's Law, like whatever you place on that bone, it's going to adapt to. So if you get stronger, it has to get more dense. It has to keep up. So there's a lot of benefits to resistance training.
Yeah, and that's not only going to help with hormones and everything, but also I think we mentioned earlier, osteoporosis is obviously common as you age. Your bones are thinning and break easier, and are all those things. And putting that stress weight on it thickens that. I think you need to start young. Start as soon as you can. But I think that's huge for.
And along with that, balance. So something that people don't take into consideration, menopausal women, they should be working on balance. So whether that's unilateral loads, stability, half Bosu balls. I'm not going to say her name, obviously, but we had somebody come in to work with us that had horrible balance, and I don't know her age. She was probably 50s. And if you don't have good balance and your bones are, becoming more porous and you fall, you're a lot more likely to break something.
And then be down for the count.
Right. So not only are you trying to strengthen muscles, strengthen the bone, you want to incorporate a lot of balance in there. And you can kind of sneak that in because people can kind of be weary of that. But I think balance is huge for any aging population.
It absolutely is.
Not just athletes, but for...
And when he says unilateral load, for those that are listening to that, what is he talking about? That is something as simple as, if you're not even working out, if you're like brushing your teeth, standing on one leg, when you're doing something, standing on the other leg, like
one side of the body.
Just working out. Yeah, just working on balance. But then also, if you were to go in the gym and do curls with weights, dumbbells, to stand on one leg and do that, that way your body is not getting used to being on 2 feet, because if you do, most of the time when someone breaks a hip, they tripped over something, one leg, and the other leg wasn't strong enough to catch them, and so then they fall and they break a hip.
Or not even unilaterally, but if you stood on either right side up or upside down, a Bosu ball with both feet and tried to perform squats, you're going to be shaking because all those small muscles in your shank and your leg aren't used to that instability.
Yeah.
So you're building stability.
But that even starts, I say start small, with
Absolutely.
that client that he's talking about, she, I think we asked her to do like a step up. Just want to see what it looked like for her to step up on.
Stepping up onto a box.
Was not 12, it was 8 inches maybe. And when she stepped up on it, she
Almost
was
fell off.
very weary. And I was like, that's interesting, because you think walking upstairs like that, it was not much bigger than a normal stair. But it's little things like that you would think that's a no-brainer. But then you add some weights in there, if someone is confident enough to step up and down on a step like that, either do it body weight or add some weights, put some dumbbells in your hands, step up, step down, step up, step down. Mm-hmm. Your body's working. You're going to end up burning fat, but then also working on balance at the same time. So you're kind of hitting all angles.
Well, and just a little side note of a point, like diagnosis of Alzheimer's, for instance, happens a decade after balance issues are noticed. So the earlier you can strengthen neurological issues such as that, the better you are, because again, that's strengthening your neurologic system too. So and absolutely.
As your vision goes down, you're losing your balance if you're working your balance.
Yeah, correct. So it goes
that's also
together.
A whole different tangent. But
no, but it's an awesome. Because again, those little things we don't even think about. So I would always start with something simple as, make sure you're walking. Because again, some of our patients are really into fitness, some aren't. So then we can gear it towards that. So if they're not really, but now all of a sudden we want them to be active, because again, me hormonally optimizing them is no magic pill. Right. And even if I use peptides to optimize growth hormone, it's still no magic pill. They still have to do the work. It's nutrition and fitness. And so as a start in the office, which is why I like to refer them on to something else, but, starting walking, 30 minutes, 5 times a week is such a basic concept, or intermittent fast and mainly protein. So that's where, if we were to say on a weekly basis, and you're talking about, adding weights, how many times a week would you say they would start, and would they do one body part, or not one body part, but an area like upper versus lower, or full body?
So in our plan, it's 2 days. They're only working
for weight training.
Correct. They're only working out 3 days a week. One of those days is a high intensity interval. The other 2 days are focusing on a heavy, it's all relative, but heavy compound lift, and then more bodybuilding movement. So it's still weights, but it's not as strenuous. Again, we do that to try to increase the free testosterone levels.
And 2 of the days were a more intense, and one is less, or the opposite.
2 are more strength, so weight-based workouts. And then the third that week. So we try to say at least 2 days minimum, I would say. Absolute minimum would be 2 days of strength training a week. And when I say strength training, I mean you could have one pair of dumbbells and do a million different things with one pair of dumbbells. Obviously, the more you have, the better. It's less boring. You can switch it up. There's a lot of ideas and stuff. You can make it fun. But one pair of dumbbells goes a long ways. So I say at least 2 days of strength training. And the third day that's in our plan is high intensity interval training. So it's getting that heart rate up and then letting it rest, up and letting it rest. Obviously,
more of a metabolic workout.
Metabolic conditioning, yeah.
And what kind of time frame are you looking at for these 3 days a week?
So that's where it's
workout duration.
Yes, correct.
45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. Okay.
45 minutes is optimal, I would say.
I think if you're looking at, it's also like how you always say, everyone's different.
Yeah, correct.
If you're looking at someone that's not active at all, like, where do I start? Then it's like, okay, 5 days a week, do something for 30 minutes a day, But even on those days you're not doing anything, it's like, could you try to get some steps? Could you get your steps in? Like, move. We really, 7 days a week, if you could do something active, that'd be nice. Yeah. Even if that is like on Saturdays and Sunday, I walked 15 minutes in the morning when I woke up around the block, 15 minutes right after dinner. That's 30 minutes of a walk right there on a weekend. It's like people think, I can't do any of that. I can't be active on weekends. But it's like, well, you can. I mean, if you break it up in little phases, you can, and then you don't even think about it.
And that was our ideal with the 3 days, is that we didn't want people living in a gym, because we know that's not ideal for most people.
Correct. Yeah.
It's really trying to gear you to be ready for whatever it is that you like to do, whether it's bike riding, hiking, just walking, just living a somewhat active lifestyle outside of what we've written. This is just to supplement that.
Well, and I think that's the key, is like getting, again, everybody is individualized. So if somebody isn't used to fitness or some basic fitness, giving them some beginner guides is important. And again, knowing they don't have to live in the gym and that they can spend 45 minutes weight training 2 days a week, and then let's do some HIIT another day. And then if you can get out and walk, those other days, those are good starting points to then again grow upon. So then they can actually add some other stuff if they choose to.
Kind of what Brooke was saying earlier about confusing your body is one on the strength days, we've implemented progressive overload. So they're going to consistently either lift more weight or do more sets at that weight. So it's not the same every time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then the high intervals are always changing. So it's still high intensity, but it's always a little bit different. So it's kind of confusing the body.
And so again, is it a full body on their weight training days because again, if they're, I guess simplicity is key for me. And I think of things in that way. So when I think of people that are really in shape and fit and are at the gym, or the really big guys, I'm using this as an example, like really big, bulked up, muscle
bound
guys, so to me, they're at the gym all the time. They're doing arms one day, legs one day, abs one day, whatever. They're there so often that they can split it up. With these patients and clients, then you're talking about more kind of full body because they're not living at the gym.
Well, it's not necessary if you're not a bodybuilder wanting to do competitions and you're not restricting your diet, doing these, really confusing your body, really doing all these like crazy diets and stuff for some huge goal they're trying to achieve for competition. It's not necessary to target my chest on Mondays, and on Tuesdays I do, my legs. And
arguably you get more of a benefit out of doing full body a couple times a week. Because if you just went to the gym to hit arms and you didn't do anything else besides that, there's not a whole lot of calories burned there. I'm not saying you're wasting your time because, like you said, some of those guys are very muscle bound.
Well, you're talking about
hours in the gym.
And you're also talking about more benefit for us that aren't.
Right.
Exactly.
Their goal is to just
to be healthier, to build muscle.
They're spending a lot of time in the gym. So they're doing arms, and then they're probably doing Stairmaster for 30 minutes to an hour. And, so they're burning what they need to be burning or whatever they want to burn. But for the people that we're talking about, like us, you kind of want to get in and out. You want to get the job done. You want to enjoy it, obviously, but it's for health, right? So I definitely think I've always been more interested in full body workouts because when I walk out, I'm like, I feel good.
Feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this workout plan is that we every time we write a plan, we try to think like, okay, what's going to be best for the people we're trying to target. And then on this one, we're like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just kind of put out there what we do? Like this is what we follow. We work out a couple more days sometimes a week than 3, but not always. And this is basically what we do to stay in shape. So it's not, we don't want to be in the gym all day either. 45 minutes, get in, get out, try to load up some weight if we can. And then maybe 1 or 2 days a week, high intensity.
Yeah.
So like you're saying with that's what we do. And I'm 28 years old, so I'm like, I'm not premenopausal yet, But with that being said, just like you said, you're a doctor and you are helping people with hormones and all that stuff, and you are a registered dietitian, and we just had one that was on here that was talking about her thing. It's all like, it all works together, right? For those perimenopausal and menopausal women, it's just getting started. If you've been doing something consistently for a long time, change it up a little bit. If you have been doing weights and you're like, well, I've been doing weights, but I'm still can see my body changing. Well, maybe switch up those weight exercises or what your training day looks like. Whether that is adding more HIIT on those days with it, whether shorten the strength a little bit and add 20 minutes of HIIT in there, which is high intensity interval training. So that's just not steady state. A lot of people love steady state cardio, which is great. But something about the HIIT burns a lot more fat than steady state.
Well, I was just going to get to that. It seems to me like, again, and that's where I've changed. So as I hit that, plateau, I wouldn't even say plateau, just change because you start to gain weight, you're doing the same stuff. But again, I was doing the same stuff. I was active, but I would go run for 30 minutes. Maybe do a little bit of weights, maybe not, but it was stress relieving to run, but it definitely wasn't adding the benefit that I needed and wanted to see. So that steady state doesn't.
Yeah, it's great. It is. I just think changing it up. So like our plan, in that plan that we wrote, we were trying to think about all the people, like what can everyone do? What can benefit everyone? And it is changing it up. So like the 2 days that are strength days, they both look different. That third day is HIIT. And on those other days, it's like, hey, do something active. That can all be steady state. Whether you said it's stress relieving to run on one of those days. I love to walk. I walk on those days. We love to bike or be active on Sundays. We're like, let's grab the bikes. Let's go bike for a while. Like it doesn't have to be something to stress over because that's adding more stress. That's adding more fat to your body. Like you're trying to keep your stress levels down. Right. So it's just trying to make it simple. Yeah. Yes. So I just would tell people to start with whether it be on a Sunday. So you know what? Like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I am going to go to the gym, or I'm going to be super active those days more than I am the other days. And just having some type of plan and then not to stress about it. Like this is what I want to do that day. Do it. And if you can't, okay, then push it the next day, but not to stress because that's what we're trying to avoid. Is we're trying to go to the gym to relieve stress. We're trying to,
And to put it bluntly, everybody wants to look like an Olympic athlete, but they don't want to work out like one and they don't want to diet like one. We're not saying that you have to, but if you went and walked for 15 minutes in the morning and then went to Starbucks and had a 1,000-calorie frappuccino, that doesn't really balance out.
Isn't that the reward? Come on.
Right. Yeah.
So, of the hard workout?
Yeah. The walking thing, we walk together all the time. I'm not knocking steady state cardio at all.
No, that's great.
But it should be supplemented with a little bit of uncomfortability. You need to put your body through something that's not necessarily in your comfort zone to get what you want out of it. Yeah, and like you said so elegantly, start baby steps. You don't have to go work out for 2 hours with weights. Just get into it.
I think those two big things, like pushing out of your comfort zone, because that's what the 30-minute run for me was. With maybe a little weight, maybe. Again, that's comfort. And so whenever I pushed, again, your heart rate's up, you're again, you're pushing, you're short of breath. It's all that's good. And then changing it up. Like those are two like big takeaways for me. Again, so on those 3 days, definitely making sure you're really pushing
doing
beyond what you're used to, what the fun stuff is, even though this should still be fun, and it will be.
Exactly.
Right.
And especially once people are used to it and acclimated to having a higher heart rate and then changing it up on 3 days, at least 3 days a week. And
3 maybe spaced out days. It's not really written to be performed like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If that's the only way that you can run this program, that's fine. But
not even our program, any program.
It's space it out a little bit.
It's like don't watch your diet and be super active Monday through Wednesday and then Thursday through Sunday, or even Friday through Sunday, go all out. Like eat all the things, don't exercise, don't do anything, and then those other days, be straight. It's like there needs to be a balance. Like that was something that
we got the name.
That's where.
So tell me the name again.
Healthy Balance Fit.
Healthy Balance Fit. And we kind of went back and forth, and I still I kind of want to change it something even more like creative. But all my life, I've always wanted just a balance. That's something that it's not that hard to figure out once you start playing with it. I think a lot of people are just like, it seems too overwhelming. But everyone just needs a balance. It doesn't have to be a strict diet. I am not a fan of strict diets. I think that they do that, but then as soon as you stop, it's like, woo, freedom, or you're holding you're keeping yourself from eating something and then you want it more.
That's true. That's where the balance comes in. Like you said, if you restrict your carbs too low, guess what? You're going to start craving carbs.
And then you're going to
binge eat on a Saturday evening. Yeah. So it's all about balance.
And the same thing with working out. It's like you don't need
a lot of work.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's the same thing with working out. It's like, we're not asking you to go spend go from nothing to 2 hours in the gym or whatever you're used to 2 hours in the gym. It's like, I think just baby steps. Just start going. If you've never gone to the gym, maybe 2 days a week, visit the gym. Try to stay in there for 30 minutes, and then add on. Do that for a week or two. Then add another day on. See how that works. You're going to start and really enjoying it when you start walking out and feeling like those endorphins and feeling like, whoa, this is different. I'm feeling a lot better than I was. Relieving this.
Well, I think I love even your beginning, the couple paragraphs, and again, just saying, this is just doing something, not having anything special, just about balancing it. You don't need special gyms, special equipment. There's a lot of apps out there right now. Tons, right? I'm not on Instagram that often. When I am, there's 4 or 5 different ones, like on a regular basis. But again, they don't even do a good job of kind of summarizing. Again, if you have me for a paragraph, capture me in the paragraph.
Exactly.
And I don't want to have to read and go into the app and really get to the point where I know, at least in general, I'm not going to have a special gym, special equipment, heart rate monitor, like Orange Theory, you know, special app that I have to follow on a daily basis or figure out how to read and follow first. That's a lot of work just to get to a simple workout. So that's where I love. 50% you've already out. Yeah, no,
you know,
exactly.
You're already gone.
Well, I've already moved on to the next. And again, that's just for the normal, you know, people that don't have a lot of time, so they want to maximize. So the fact that in the first, you know, couple of paragraphs of a description, it's like, again, this is like everyday stuff. This is what we're doing. We're not reinventing the wheel. You know, you don't need to do anything special. Just so
it's
I loved that part.
And there's a fine line where you don't want to scare people away, but you want to be honest that it's not going to be easy per se. It gets easier, but it's not going to be comfortable and easy at first going in there and doing one of the Metcons in this workout. You know, it's supposed to be done at your own pace. It's supposed to be your max effort, but it's not going to be comfortable to get something to change if you really want it to change. It comes down to how bad do you want it.
But even if they're doing it at first and it's low weight and they're pushing it, at least they're doing it.
And then they just move on. And their body will feel
because they can start and then they can change.
Absolutely. You're going to get better. Yeah. If you keep doing it, you will absolutely get better.
Thomas and Brooke are sitting in front of me and they're like completely fit and, you know, but not overly. So it's not, again, when I was talking about if you look at somebody and you think they're in the gym all the time and they're, you know, bulked up, that's not, it's like that tone body, but very fit. And again, they're living life with good balance and definitely have set up a program where people can do that and start and they can progress with it if they wanted. But again, even if you did this and changed it up and pushed it, then at least it's very simple. You don't need much equipment. You don't need some special heart rate monitor, and you don't need to spend 2 weeks figuring out how to follow it.
Exactly.
You know, which is key because if I have to read instructions and like figure out all this stuff, I'm out.
His mom texted us this morning. It was like, workout's done. Day 1, like it's done. Thanks. And I was like, wow. Okay, great.
Exactly. So now tell us where we can find it so that everyone knows.
So right now we have it saved as a PDF. So you just have to kind of DM us on Instagram at Healthy Balance Fit and let us know that you want one. And we are emailing it to people.
So they're in the process of really rolling this out, you know, so it's early on. And again, you know, I love the idea for, you know, a lot of our patients that are, you know, going through changes and to get them the information. And so even we've kind of pushed for, you know, hey, can we have it like sooner rather than later?
Yeah.
And so again, they're rolling it out and they want to do it right. And eventually, you know, it'll get to a point where, you know, you'll be able to get on in a different way. This is actually perfect because then they email you, DM them and they email it and then you get the workouts in your inbox. And so you know how to follow them, which to me is very simple too, because again, all that other more complicated, I have to figure out how to use it, and it's just it's hard. So I think that's again the Instagram is Healthy Fit Balance.
Healthy Balance Fit.
Healthy Balance Fit. HBF.
We'll
HBF.
The comment section.
HBF.
Yep.
It's always got to be abbreviated eventually. Yes. And we'll put the link in the description so that you can find it and then you can get your workouts and get them started. I'm actually getting mine today later. And I've already actually followed the Instagram ones, but I've, you know, worked. I've done the same ones.
Yeah, your daughter's been doing it. I'm so proud. Yeah. She's already a weekend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to trying all of them. And I hope that you guys follow them on Instagram and then DM them for the program and they'll send it to you. And then we'll send us all your progress and how you're doing. We want to see it. We want to hear about it. So again, leave us any comments in the comment section, anything you want to hear about. Any questions for Brooke or Thomas as well, for sure. And then like, subscribe, share with friends, for sure. Share with friends. We want to get them, more people on their fitness program and we want to hear how everyone's doing. So thank you guys so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll do some more. And if you guys have something specific you want to talk about, then let us know. So again, we're here to revitalize your look, your health, and your sex life.